There we go. All right, we are officially live. So let's hop on the internet. I'm going to see if I can do this in record time. It always takes me 10 times longer than it should. But let's try to get it shared out. And of course, there we go. They've actually made it really easy, I feel like, to share online. Like it's on Facebook, it's been easier to share stuff like this. I feel like they do a pretty good job.
I talked to Marky.
Did he hook it up for you?
Yeah.
All right, I think we are out on the internet. Hey, Doug, what's up, man? I see you there. If you do me a favor and let me know that you guys can hear me okay. Hey, Brett, thanks for stopping in. Sorry I couldn't talk to you, but I saw you through the glass there. Guys, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that the audio is coming through okay, so we know we're actually out there on the internet, and we will get this thing started here in just a second. I wish if we brought the camera up a little bit higher, and then what do you call it? Just like above table level. We did that like one time. It was like a perfect view.
The people like my legs.
That's true. You got nice calves. Audio and video are good, Doug says.
Like my knee.
Brett says they can hear you. Awesome. All right, guys. Let me get a little bit of liquid courage in me, and let's hit the button. You guys ready?
The steam after. Okay, go pump. Replace the humming sound of the real bangs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Might Be Brews, episode 60. We are the big 60 in I don't know, episode age?
Podcast age.
Podcast age, but I don't know. I guess that's kind of an exciting milestone. But we are the podcast where we explore the people, places, and brews of the craft beer world. My name is John. With me, as always, Mr. Steve. How you doing?
You've broken my yearly tradition.
What's that?
It's the first day of football.
What, today is?
Today is the first preseason game.
Oh.
So normally I should be at home really pumped up to watch football and then turning it off after 4 plays because it's preseason.
Right.
And then I watch Big Brother.
I didn't even realize that football was back. I am so deep on F1 right now. I've forgotten that like any other
no
sport,
Olympics?
no Olympics. I haven't watched a stitch
Who are
of
you?
Olympics. I don't know. I'm a new person. I've evolved into something new. But we've got very special guests. If you can't tell, guys, we are broadcasting live from beautiful Exton, Pennsylvania at Iron Hill Brewery, the new location, the main production facility, I believe. But we've got Seth here with us and Doug. Seth, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thank you. You are a friend of the show, a repeat offender.
It is. It is a repeat.
And Doug, how you doing today, man?
You're great.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for helping set this up and allowing us to come in here and get to know you guys. Real quick, before we get into the questions, make sure you check out mbnnetwork.com. It's never been easier to find your new favorite podcast. Also, make sure you're following us on YouTube. Search for MBN Network, and make sure you're subscribed for our live streams, podcast episodes, and all the content that we're putting out there. Help us make the show bigger and better than ever before. Become a patron on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/MBN Network. Sign up to get bonus episodes and entered into monthly giveaways. Shout out to our sponsors. We've got 2 of them. You know me as CBD. Use promo code MBN to get 20% off free shipping and a free gift. That's eunomiacbd.com and Linode.com. Accelerate innovation with Linode's simple, affordable, and accessible Linux cloud solutions and services. Go to linode.com/MBN, create an account, and get a $100 credit. So guys, Iron Hill, right? It's like, in my mind, I'm just going to give you the perspective of somebody like me, all right? If you guys don't know my beer history, I know everybody out there in the world does. You know, I feel like I'm a relatively new craft beer fan, but you guys were well established when I got into craft beer. You know what I mean? Like, I had some of my first craft beers as Station Tap Room was opening, right? So like, that was how, you know, the first time I went in there, the only thing I knew I liked was Lindemann's Framboise. You know what I mean? I wasn't even into hops and stuff, you know? So that's what I was drinking like the first time that place opened. So Iron Hill, I feel like, is one of the OGs that was here before the big craft beer boom, you know what I mean? And I'm really interested to like kind of get an idea of what that was like. And when I was on your website today, I think I counted like 21 locations, or is it just under 20? I forget, but
Just at number 20.
Yeah.
In Atlanta. Just Monday, so very recent.
Very exciting. In Atlanta, you said?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Perimeter. That's our second location.
Holy cow. So give me an idea. I don't know if you guys want to, if you guys can go down that route with me, but try to describe maybe what it's like for Iron Hill to be like one of the OGs, and then how craft beer has evolved to just like exploding. And there's, you know, however many 400 breweries, is that right? I don't know, in PA, something like that?
Yeah, I think
in the neighborhood?
We're approaching like 450 at this point.
Yeah, so like, obviously with that craft beer explosion, how has Iron Hill stayed relevant and you know, continue to grow and expand and open up new locations?
I think our ability to adapt. You know, when we opened in 1996, I was 16 at that time, so I was really proud of it. But you know, I think at that time you could have a golden beer, an amber beer, and a stout or a porter. And
Sure.
You have the whole variety of American craft beer.
Sure, and that's the extent of it.
Yeah, and over the past 25 years, learning to adapt. The trend of New England IPAs.
Sure.
You know, we didn't consider putting a hazy beer on that. We didn't even have IPAs when we started. But then, you know, jumping on the new trends, and changing along with the beer industry. You know, not necessarily changing our values in making beer, but you know, getting a new frontier of what the brewing industry is doing, and new styles and new hop varieties.
That was kind of one of the things that I was always wondering about with Iron Hill, because you guys always have your cores, your 5, 6.
Yeah, we're about 6. Yeah.
Oh, but then it seems like each individual brewery has their own little specialties, one-offs, seasonals. Is that a corporate decision? These guys are doing this beer, you guys are doing this beer in Westchester, you're doing this beer in Media, or is it an individual brewer at each location? Who's coming up with those little kind of one-offs?
Yeah, you know, we've always been the brew pub company. And each location did have its own brewer, and that brewer would have their own personality and contribute their own thing to their tap list. Some of our brewers love Belgian-style beers and would focus on that. Some of the brewers love hops, and you'll see all the IPAs coming out of that category.
That location. Yeah.
So, you know, now we communicate a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, you know, we mix and match. We learn some things that one brewer would do, and we'll incorporate that. So I think instead of just having one mind coming up with beers, we'll you know, get the opinions of a lot of brewers and get the best of the best.
Do you feel like you found a formula that works with like the restaurant in general? Is that how the locations seem to like continue to open and be so successful and continue to expand, that there's like, you know, obviously I would assume like, you know, the liquid's got to be good, right? You've got to have good beer, but how much thought goes into everything else, like the restaurant, the food, how does all that play out? And, do you feel like you've figured out a formula, or is it still like, this looks like a good market, let's just give it a shot?
No, over the past 25 years, we've been able to develop an algorithm and figure out what works for us, what doesn't work for us, and we're not afraid to say something doesn't work. I think that's one of the things that's made us successful, is that if something's not working, we're not afraid to, all right, that's not working, let's try something else.
Yeah.
And with our restaurants, we kind of do the same thing. We look at it from a data analytics standpoint, and we say, hey, this is a good place to open a restaurant, and this isn't a good place to open a restaurant. I think that's helped us along the way, and we still employ those same data analytics today, not just with the restaurants, but with the production brewery as well.
Sure.
We also kind of have a mindset of, we have 20 locations, but we don't act like a big company.
Yeah.
Each location, we focus on the community. We try to get the regular customers in that region.
Sure.
The brewers have a personal relationship with some of our regular customers.
Yeah.
In fact, even tonight we have King of the Hill night.
Yeah.
A lot of our regular customers who part of our loyalty program, we put a special beer on tap for them, and we talk to them, bring it over to the bar and have a beer side by side with them. And I think that's something you don't see from a lot of big chain restaurants. But,
sure.
Like I said, we don't act like that. We act like a small community restaurant.
Yeah, sure.
Since you touched on it, why don't you talk about today a little bit? I know King of the Hill Day, it's also National IPA Day. So what did you guys specifically do here to celebrate?
We put together a sampler, 4 different IPAs. We had a special release of an IPA, Neon Vibes, which is a variation of our hipster IPA, but infused with passion fruit and guava to give it a tropical fruit character. We also have a couple can releases today. Chewy IPA, which is one of our new England IPA styles. Also Grow Fresh IPA, which is an orange West Coast style IPA. We got a lot of IPAs on that today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is that what we have here?
We have 4 of our IPAs here right now.
Yeah, because 2 look hazy and 2 look like West Coast.
Yep.
Very cool.
I would normally be the guy to tell the people, stop putting so many IPAs on, but it's National IPA Day.
You got to
have your IPAs on. And you guys do not have a shortage of other beers other than IPAs on, which I am very thankful for, and I definitely try every time I'm in here. I love that I know there's some kind of Belgian on wherever I come to in Iron Hill anywhere. And I don't know if that's conscious, but I just know, I can try that Belgian and know that there's going to be something new and fresh there for me to try.
Yeah, I like the King of the Hill program because I think it's like an interesting idea to like pull people in and then keep them coming back. Like it's kind of a no-brainer when they explain it to you to sign up for it when you come in. Like if you haven't yet, you just got to do it. And I was really excited to come here today, and they're like, do you have your card? Are you a member? And I'm like, yeah. And then they brought me out free food and a free taster, and then my beer came in a big mug. And, it really didn't take anything, but you feel like you're getting some special treatment. And I feel like that little extra touch is a lot better than somebody just slinging you a beer across the bar.
Yeah, I think, one of our hallmarks is that we treat every customer the same way, whether they're in here not having a beer or having a beer. Like we understand that our first line of defense with our beer and retail is our pubs. Every brewery has a tap room.
Sure.
We just have to have 20. And that's great. Like it's a huge advertisement plus for us, and it's a way for us to get new beers in front of people before we have to put them into retail. And it's a playground for us. People like Doug and brewers, like they're able to put out new ideas and judge them on what the consumer thinks. And
sure.
We can pivot from there. If it's a great beer, great. It's awesome. That's fantastic. But let's be honest, not every beer is going to be a winner. And we understand that, and we've accepted that. And being able to pivot around with that mentality has helped us to sustain what we've done for the last 25 years.
Sure. I'm trying to think, are there any other breweries that have that many locations? I mean, nothing that's like...
Maybe like your Rock Bottoms or Gordon Beers.
Rock Bottoms, Gordon Beers is about the only thing I can think of, too.
That's an achievement, man. Like some of like the most popular nationwide brands don't have that many locations. It's pretty crazy. But I mean, I don't know. Everybody knows that, or at least I think everybody knows that a brewery, like the best situation is to sell somebody a pint. That's when you're making your best buck. But like, how much distribution do you guys do, and how much of it gets out there? And do you distribute to all those markets that you have restaurants also?
So we did not start. So let me back. Where we're sitting right now is our production brewery.
Yep.
The production brewery opened during COVID. It's always been the idea of our owners to have a production brewery and to have distribution. It just was never a reality until recently. But now we have this gorgeous 30-barrel facility. We have a brand new canning line that we love, and we were able to start distributing wholesale.
Yep.
So we are distributing in Eastern Pennsylvania, Middle Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Fun fact, we launched New Jersey in 2 weeks, so we're super happy about that.
That's exciting. Go fish.
And we're also in Delaware. So
nice.
we have been able to put our beer into the market where our restaurants are. We're not in South Carolina and Georgia yet in retail, but we are available. Our cans are available at our pubs down there.
Nice.
But it's always been just this idea that we make really good beer, and we want people to understand we make really good beer, and we want people to enjoy our really good beer.
Right.
And having to have them come to the brewery to get it was kind of off-putting to a certain extent.
Right.
But we are now everywhere craft beer is sold. You can find our cans. You can find our releases. We are launching Draft this month in Eastern Pennsylvania and in New Jersey. So you will be able to find our beer on Draft at your favorite craft beer bar. Please ask them for it. They will certainly get it for you.
Sure.
And we're really happy about that because it allows us to spread our wings even further and put our beer in front of even more people. And I think any brewery, whether you're a pub brewery or a regional brand, that's your goal.
For sure.
The more people that you can get your beer in front of, the better. And we're really excited to be in retail now and pushing our beer to the consumer without them having to come to us again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This place is huge. You guys will certainly be able to kick some beer out of here. Was the plan when the plan was to have this be the production facility? I noticed the tap room restaurant is set up a little bit differently than the regular restaurants. I don't say that in a bad way, regular, irregular. There's kind of more the snack bar, I'll call it, setup. Was that conscious because of the production brewery, or was that a byproduct? That was a horrible question.
Or was it more COVID related? I mean, yeah, like what was the thought process? It seems like it's a more popular format, right?
Here long before COVID too.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more beer focused.
Sure.
Even the menu is designed to really fit with drinking beer.
Sure.
So we want this place to be a destination too. And we're kind of the hub for the Iron Hill universe.
Yeah,
we don't just have beers on tap that we brew here. We bring in beers from some of our other locations too.
Nice.
So if you want the big picture of what Iron Hill has to offer as far as beer, then that's what this place is for.
Gotcha. Nice.
Come here and see where the packaged beer is made, see the canning line, and have some food that's really designed to go side by side with our beer.
What about so for people that are like beer nerds or in the industry that kind of know what goes into brewing, can you try to describe what would make people excited about this brewing facility, like what you guys have here that's, state of the art, top of the line, the size, things like that? Anybody that's in the know, try to describe for them what's really special about this brew space, or this brew house.
Yeah, we really didn't spare any expense.
It's a lot of stainless.
Yeah, it's a
lot of tall stainless.
Yeah. And we bought ourselves a good packaging line too.
Yeah.
We're focused on some quality control aspects that I don't want to say we never thought of as brew pubs, but it's a lot bigger focus here, and we gotta not just produce a huge variety of beer, but get that consistency and get them exactly how we want to. Whether you're drinking it in a can, 3 months from the production date.
Yeah.
As you are drinking it on day one over the bar.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you how many fermenters I count. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. But so pretty much everything that you guys are putting out in cans, or do some of these restaurants brew for themselves, or are you guys pretty much going to be sending out a majority of it?
The canned beer is all out of this.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so you know, our individual locations are still they're still brew pubs.
Yeah,
you know,
nice.
You can still go there, meet the brewer, have beer alongside them.
Yep.
And have a beer strip, a tank that they produce the beer.
Yeah, that's very cool. I guess it's really neat that like even though that you guys, like if people that have multiple locations, sometimes they're not always a brew location. Sometimes it's just, you know, this is where you can have beers where there's kegs and cans. But for there to be like that uniqueness of maybe how that brewer's touch is kind of cool. You can get like a little bit of a different vibe on the beer list maybe, or something like that, depending on where you are. So out of the beers that we have here, did you have your hand in just about all these?
I believe all of them.
Yeah.
You sure did? Yeah.
What do you think we should start with?
I'm going to have my hand in one here soon.
Yeah, let's start
Yeah.
with you start with Crypto?
Yeah, let's start with the double IPA.
Yeah, we'll start with the double. We'll work our way
Sounds like a
down.
good idea. Doug said he's getting some feedback there. Hopefully that's better. Just adjusting the things here. Let me know if that's any better, guys.
So tell us about the Crypto.
So Kryptonite is our double IPA. Big is the key word here. I mean, it's a big, strong beer loaded with hops. One of our old school IPAs, going back to when I started drinking craft beer. I love the big IPAs like they're loaded with some of the classic American variety hops, like Centennial.
Right?
It's definitely a throwback beer, and not just like throw one back. Like,
that would get quite dangerous.
Yeah, but it speaks to the older style of West Coast IPA.
Yeah, that grapefruity, piney hop.
Yep.
character.
Yeah, piney. You're definitely very hop forward. A little bit of that, that maltiness. Not so much like it's sweet, but it's that caramel malt. You know what I mean? It gives it a little bit of that color, but you can get that flavor too. So it just takes you right back to West Coast. But that's really good. I was thinking like right off the bat, it's just like, even though it's very hoppy, I don't know if it's from the last beer that I had, it's just balanced, man. It just feels like nice, and as weird as it's a double IPA, but it just feels like very easy drinking somehow. Like it just works. It's smooth.
Yeah, it doesn't drink like a double IPA. You don't get that like overt booziness to it.
Yeah.
Or it's not hot. Like it just drinks like a regular IPA, but it clocks in at 8.7. 9.1.
Something
It's
in
up
that
there,
range.
yeah. Something in that range.
So for the people that haven't seen yet, we've got a whole cast of characters over here that we're going to be cycling in and out. Before we get Doug out of here, I'm sure he's got better stuff than the talk to us jabronis to be doing around here.
Jabronis.
Your first craft beer experience.
My first craft beer experience, I was going to college at Virginia Tech, and I just wandered into this specialty shop that sells beer and wine, and they happen to have a tasting every Friday of just 4 different beers, just randomly selected out their shelves. And I didn't necessarily like everyone, but you don't have to like everyone. You just have to find it interesting. That puts the bug in your head that there's something else about beer
Sure.
that I don't know about that I want to explore.
Yep.
And for me, it was just a lambic. Lambic, and it was the strangest thing I've ever tasted. And like I said, I didn't necessarily like it, and not one of my favorite styles.
Oh, for sure. Of course.
At the time, there was just something different. I wanted to explore. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
This beer that does not taste like beer.
I don't remember any places around here having lambic tastings.
No.
don't think we've had that.
I can't. I don't know if anybody's ever said that. Everybody's like, oh, it was Sierra Nevada Pale Ale or Yingling or whatever was kind of like their gateway into craft beer, something that's different than those macros. But I don't think anybody's ever gone straight lambic for their like first intro. That's
you had food.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a $600 Cantillon bottle.
Cantillon bottle.
Yeah. Very cool.
No, but that's something I stressed to some of our front of house staff about giving people tasters of beer. Like, just let them taste it. And sometimes they think like, well, what if they don't like it? Like, this is a really aggressive tasting IPA. A lot of people might be intimidated about it. Like, let them try it. They don't have to like it.
Yeah,
they might open up their eyes anyway.
It happens. It happens.
Sometimes you'll just blow their mind with how amazing it tastes.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened to me. So I really feel that just I think a little bit of education, letting people try things, it'll happen. That's very, very cool. We're already 25 minutes in. So if there's anybody else that wants to hop on that you guys want to make sure makes it on here, I definitely want to make sure we talk to people and keep the beers coming. So I don't know, Seth, if there's somebody else you think.
Yeah, we'll rotate out. We'll utility game this.
Yeah, do me a favor. Tilt your mic back towards tilt it towards. You want to have that flat front of it. There you go. That'll just end up sounding a little bit better, I think. Yeah. So, what else was I going to ask you guys about? Tell me about this barrel program here. We've got a bunch of Dad Hat barrels sitting over here. Because Dad Hat's a PA distillery, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like, what's going on in there? Is that all the same beer? Do you guys have a few styles going on?
Well, I may have touched on it earlier, and I mentioned that we opened in '96, and our 25th anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
We brewed a beer called Big Pig, which, if you're familiar with Iron Hill, Pig Iron Porter is sort of our legacy beer. It's the only beer that's been on tap since the day one that we opened.
Oh, wow.
So we brewed a stronger version of it. Like, what better way to celebrate our 25th anniversary?
Nice.
And hey, guys!
I'll save you there, Seth.
Why not put it in Dad's barrels?
Yeah, right.
It's a perfect compliment to this. So we'll have something to drink, but
yeah. Did you say it's a bigger version? Did you go like a bigger ABV, or is it the traditional?
ABV, bigger everything. I mean, it's, we literally took the same base recipe.
Nice.
And just bumped everything up a little.
Yeah, that's exciting. So how long has that been there?
That's been in there for the first batch we put in a couple months ago.
Okay.
And these actually right here we're about to fill. We'll probably fill those tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So they're
exciting
right now.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Nice. A barrel project in the works. Very exciting stuff.
Wish we had a camera person that could spin around.
I know, right? Yeah, join our Patreon so we can hire an intern. That can move the camera around for us. But yeah, I don't know who's going to switch out. Is it going to be
bring in Justin?
Yeah, all right. Justin, is Doug out or is Doug staying?
We can do whatever you guys want.
Yeah, if you can, because we can swivel that mic around if you just want to step in there or take a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Royal Rumble.
Right,
Yeah. That's a good one.
Duggins.
All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself. What's your name? Justin, get a little closer to the mic when you're on it, but we can tilt it around. Justin, what do you do here?
I guess I'm in charge of the packaging.
Okay. So that exciting piece of equipment behind you is your baby? That's what you get to work on?
Yeah, take care of it, clean it every day. I use it.
I don't know a whole lot about the machinery there, but from what it looks like, what I think is a little bit unique or next level, I'll say, is looks like you can put your pallets of cans in that cage and it feeds for you.
Yeah. So
that's pretty sweet. Yeah.
I've worked on a line before, and we manually just picked up like armful cans. And like
try not to dent them too much, and I'm sure.
Some legs. This thing's just like stand there and watch it go.
Yeah, that's very cool, and it looks like a roller coaster. It's got a
that's our
little. Yeah. So is that rinsing it and then probably
inside a can, kind of getting dust, particles out.
Sure.
Give it a quick clean before it heads to the actual wild goose fill heads.
Yeah, what comes next? CO2?
So yeah, we got a purge.
Yep.
We got a 5-head station. So you get 5 cans getting purged, or 5 cans getting filled.
Nice.
And then it'll head right to the steamer.
Yeah.
And it has a quick little rinse and dry at the end of that before it hits the actual long conveyor.
Gotcha.
And then we have a rinse tunnel with a dry tunnel right after, with big stainless steel cages.
Yeah.
And then right after that, we have our day coder. So
Nice.
I get to have fun with that. That's my daily joy when I get to put a little message underneath the can.
I was gonna ask
So
you.
you
Get
get
to.
I'm on my. That's what me trying to do videos, fancy for something like that.
I like that you plug the wild goose filling. You work like you get a kick out from them.
We're hoping.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, maybe, right?
Oh, that's crazy. I'm just gonna guess that contraption there probably is like worth more than my house, maybe twice as much.
Yeah, probably about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, I mean, what goes into like a production facility like this? How often are you guys running this thing, and how much are you guys cranking out?
Easily 3 days a week.
Yeah.
We're going, and we're not even at like full steam yet. Like we're with Pumpkin Oktoberfest, kind of getting into early cans for the wholesale market.
Sure.
This is where we're running 124 barrels, and we got to do it over 2 days easily for each of those.
Man.
We got 3 or 4 batches each.
I can't believe it's almost already Oktoberfest season.
Oh, it is Oktoberfest.
It is
Yeah.
It's a Monday. It is Oktoberfest season.
Yeah, that's exciting. I had the Dunkel, which was pretty good. But what do you have there?
This is Oktoberfest. This
Okay, is it?
This is actually
The Mars and off the Bright, yeah.
We filter it, and we're going to be start packaging tomorrow.
Nice. That's
Today
very
we focused
exciting.
on cleaning some kegs and taking off the rest of chewy and
Yeah.
make
Exciting
sure
stuff.
fresh for canning.
Which one's Chewy? Is that up there?
No, we don't have chewy. No, we're not.
I look like it all the way.
Fresh canned.
Okay, I gotcha. Very cool. So, I mean, how many people does it take to run like a canning line or whatever? Like when you're actually loading things up, does the machine do most of it, and you get to work by yourself? Do you have a whole crew here? Like, what's it like?
We can, if we're going at a slower pace, 2 people can pretty much handle it pretty well.
Yeah.
And if everything goes well.
Sure. Yeah.
Goes well is the key word. If it doesn't go well, you need like 4 people on the line.
Yeah.
Just watching over problems that arise.
What happened to like do like lines get clogged? Does something get jammed up in the line? Like what kind of stuff
Sometimes,
happens?
like, you know, when I'm standing filling cans, I'm
Yeah.
watching like eye hawk and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the decal. Crush cans come up, we'll get stuck in the foot sprint.
Sure.
I try
Okay.
and catch them
Yeah.
before they come down. Sometimes the decal, if it's not lined up right, it doesn't like sense the can, so it like doesn't send cans. You
Sure.
gotta watch after that. You have cans that don't get seen, so you gotta make sure you're catching them before they
Yeah.
go through the rinser and dryer.
Sure.
A bunch of miscellaneous problems that just arise. You can have the ringer here for making the 4-packs or 6-packs, 8-packs.
Oh, no way.
That's what's
Puts them all in for
crazy.
you?
Finger crunching contraption is right here.
Yeah.
So that can get snags on it.
Sure. Man, that's fascinating.
Where's the short fill pile at? Is those gone already?
We take those every end of the day.
Okay.
Come by tomorrow, maybe you'll find it.
Yeah.
Dirty little secret in brewing is that it all comes down to sensors. So
Sure.
that make sure your sensors are good and you'll be good.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, just all that machinery's got to be put in the right pressure, the right amount of this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when it comes to the actual filling and everything, I'm constantly watching the pressure on the line and readjusting the head pressure on the tank.
Yeah.
Just to keep everything running smoothly. If you don't stay on it, you'll start getting low fills. And then you got to readjust. Make sure get everything back in line.
How long have you been doing this?
Brewing in general?
Yeah, like in the industry.
I'm in like my 9th year.
Yeah.
Coming on 10.
How exciting is it when you like work that hard and then you see somebody like post on Facebook or like you see like the can in the store? I mean, that's got to be like a cool feeling, right? Like knowing you put all that blood, sweat, and tears, whatever you want to call it, into the machinery and getting it out there. And then when you're walking to a store or something and you see your product on the shelf or
Yeah,
somebody's
pretty
got
great.
it,
I
I'm
mean,
sure.
At first, you people drinking, you're like at the bar,
Yeah.
enjoying it, but they're not always enjoying it how they can at the bar, you know. But I was at my local grocery store, and like have me by the crack section.
Yeah.
I was like, I lifted up the can. I was like, that was me.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Do you walk past the guy in Giant? You're like, hey, try that iron hill yet?
Yeah.
Get in there? I do that when I'm at Walmart with fans.
Yeah.
You gotta get that Lasco fan, right?
Yeah, right.
Help me out, buddy. Huh?
Get the good fan. The good
Yeah.
fan.
I wonder, like, I don't know. I was like, my brain just went off in a tangent. Like, how much would it cost to, like, how cost effective could you get somebody to stay in the beer store to just tell people, hey, buy Iron Hill, buy Iron Hill? Like, could you, how much would sales increase? Would it pay for itself and some?
Like a sign flipper?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
People will work for free beer, I found. So
Yeah,
I feel like
true.
there could be some sort of
Yeah.
equilibrium there
Right.
where we're just giving away free beer the whole time.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. If you don't mind, let's
Yeah.
do another beer here.
We'll do Neon Vibes.
Okay.
Which is it's a New England with passion fruit and guava.
Okay.
It is.
Is this the special one for today?
It is. It is. We put this out just for IPA Day. We actually have a pretty awesome 80s themed video if you want to check us out on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
Instagram page that features many of folk that work here on it, and it's. If you know them, it's hilarious. If you don't know them, it's still hilarious. But yeah, so we put this out for National IPA Day as one of our features. And it is a New England hazy with passion fruit and guava, so it's super fruit forward and no bitterness really at all.
You get that hop taste up front, but then it's all fruit in the back.
Yeah.
It just comes right over the top.
It's crazy how juicy it is. Like, it's like very fruit juice. It's like you're getting that guava and what'd you say that was? Passion fruit, mango?
Passion fruit
Yeah,
and
yeah.
guava, yeah.
It's crazy.
Uh,
It's straight juice. And I mean, I also just had a hot bomb, so maybe that changes the palate a little bit. But man, that's delicious.
My wife likes to use the term juice bomb, and I
Yeah.
think this is the epitome of that.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's just super juicy, just straightforward New England IPA.
Yeah.
I think we really nailed it with this beer. It's on draft at any of our locations for until it runs out. We don't make too much of it, but it's a pretty darn good beer. We're really happy with the way it came out.
Yeah, it's delicious. I mean, this is as good as any juicy IPA out there. That's very exciting. I actually had one. They brought it out to me when I sat down for each. She like, I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention, and she was like, "I'm bringing this, and there's going to be like a dip with it." And then I was like, "Wait a second, what's happening here?" But she, because of King of the Hill Day, IPA Day, they were giving out these samples, and
Like a can.
yeah,
Right?
absolutely, exactly. That's what it feels like.
He was like trying to pay attention to his kids. He was like, "What? I get a what?" Huh?
Yeah. So what's happening here?
What is going on?
Yeah, this thing is delicious. That's very good. So, I mean, I'd love to know more about what it was like. Is there anybody here that's brewed here for a really long time that would like
Yeah,
Like-
let me go for it.
I'm kind of curious, like what from a brewer's perspective, what it's like changing up styles and getting used to different styles of beer, and you know what I mean? Like if you're used to brewing that traditional stuff and then something else is getting popular and having to switch things up
Change
to,
over.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
learning like something new, like something's catching steam and now I have to learn like a new technique maybe or something like that. I'd really be curious to know what that's like.
I mean, I've been doing it for 9 years. The market's changed since I got it.
Can you talk about where you've been
So I
or what your history is?
went to UC Davis for their brewer program and came back and started at Dock Street.
Okay.
in West Philly.
Yeah.
So I got my hands-on experience there.
Yeah.
And moved on to a startup for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then left there to come here.
Yeah. Nice.
Since I got in the industry, I grew up with like Iron Hill, I feel, in my mind. I've always heard about how great it is being a brewer there, and it was like the
Yeah.
best bunch of people. So I applied multiple times in my 9 years, and then finally like got a job here and was head brewer in Westchester for 2 years.
Yeah.
So the only change I've seen, and it's crazy to see it, because it changed our signature beer. So we went from Wit and Whitberry to Homestead and Brambleberry.
Right.
But like it was unique to me to see that change happen, and even from Whorehouse to Philly Favorite. So that's like a changing just in the 2 years of me being here.
Sure.
Going from something I'm learning to do, and they're like, we're gonna change our signatures up, which is a big thing to do.
For sure.
But to go with what's moving.
Yeah. What's popular. Yeah. Awesome. What's your name there?
My name is Matt Gundrum. I'm a head brewer in Westchester.
Nice. Nice to meet you. So you've been brewing with Iron Hill for how long?
Since 2007, actually.
Okay.
I took a little hiatus in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Worked for Fort Jack Brewing Company for a couple of years, and then came back to Iron Hill.
Nice.
When I moved back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So I mean, we're sipping on this this hazy IPA. What was it called? Neon.
The Neon Vibes.
Yeah, Neon Vibes. Right. So I'm thinking to myself that Iron Hill is one of those breweries that's just been around forever in our area. Right. It's like an OG to us, but somebody that's brewed here for a long time, when you start out with those traditional styles and you're watching the market change and you're seeing new beers come out, what's that process like to, are you trying to learn new techniques to try to figure out how am I going to brew this style that I've maybe never brewed before or knew about it, but it wasn't popular yet? So like from a brewer's perspective, what's it like adapting to what's popular and then trying to get a good product out there of a completely new style?
Well, I mean, the first step we take is to make sure that it's actually popular. It's not just a quick fad or something like that.
Yeah.
We were actually one of the last ones to the game with the IPAs.
Sure.
We weren't sure if they were going to stick around, right? We saw these out here. We saw, people talking about them. We thought it might go the way of the black IPA.
Yeah, right.
Around
Sure.
for a year, maybe two, and then, not be so popular anymore.
Yeah.
So we kind of held back a little bit. And in that time, we actually did a lot of research with it, right? So, you see a lot of the hazy IPAs out in the market. They're chunky. There's a lot of, yeast and stuff in them. Ours isn't that. It's not a yeast haze with our
Sure.
IPAs. We really, we targeted like a nice, protein haze with it, a lasting haze that doesn't dissipate over time. A beer that is best when fresh, but also has some shelf stability to it.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it, because I feel like a lot of people are just, let's dump everything we can into there. We're going to try to make this like, juice bomb, whatever it is. And
I thought we just threw flour in there. I thought that was cool.
right?
Initially, that's what was happening. Right?
Yeah.
I know.
Don't forget what it is.
But yeah, and then the thing literally, can't sit for more than 30 days.
Yeah.
So that's it's interesting to hear somebody have that take on it, where everybody's like, it's this is what it is, but drink it, keep it cold, drink it super fresh, or it's a completely different beer, or it changes. So that's a really cool take on it, that you guys are able to make a beer on this level that's this good, but you're also taking that approach to shelf stability and things like that.
Yeah, we really don't like small batch brew before we release something to the public. So basically, any batch of beer we brew is being served in our brew pubs.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure we were going to do it right before we even started.
It's crazy to think about that you don't have to do that, because I would imagine so many brewers. I'm sure that people can try out a beer and then it tastes good and they just serve it, but you guys have been doing it for so long. You got to have these systems in place and with your ingredients and everything like that, that you can come up with a recipe and pretty much know what you're going to get out of it before it actually comes out of a tap anywhere.
Yeah, we can. And the other thing when we're designing these beers and thinking about what we're going to put out in the public is we do have a reputation for that. And
Sure.
Iron Hill's been around 25 years, and we're going to put out the best beers that we possibly can.
Sure.
So before we even brew a beer, it's a pretty meticulous process that we go through. And we know what we're going to get. It's all about the intent. We're not going to put out, a beer that we intended to be bright.
Right.
It's going to be hazy when we release it. So
Yeah.
when the hazy beer started, we went with that intent, what we wanted to put out, and make sure that we were going to get it right when we started.
Yeah. Very cool.
Matt and I have also now been tasked with an R&D program. So we're going to be moving forward with that. But I think that speaks to the level at which we care about quality. Like if a beer doesn't pass stuff, we don't put it out. Like, we're not afraid to dump beer. It's not what we want.
Sure.
And I think that kind of separates us from a lot of other breweries out there. One thing in this facility we have is a fantastic lab. Like, it rivals my high school lab. It's great, and we have that to our availability to use and test and look at our cell counts and look at how the viability of our yeast and be able to really put our best forward when we actually do brew a beer. But again, like we're not, if the beer's not good, we're not afraid to admit that it's not good, and you're not going to win 100% of the time. You're going to have some misses, and that's. As a brewery, we're able to accept that and move on from that and say, okay, this one didn't work. But what's next?
Sure.
What's next?
Speaking of winning, I always see Iron Hill winning at GABF, a couple of the other different beer festivals out there. How do you guys win all the time? And I know there's a couple beers that people really love. The Russian Imperial Stout being one of them. Give us your thoughts on just those beer festivals. What's the approach going out to those things? Is it I'm going to put one in every category? Is it we're going to put our best stuff forward? What do you think about that?
So from being here for a little while and seeing the way this process works, before we ever send a beer to GABF, all of our brewers panel our beers against each other. And sometimes we talk about how there's 4 beers on this table that we feel could really have a chance of winning.
Yeah.
We're only going to send one for each style. And, we don't send a million beers out, right? This year, I believe we're sending 19 total, but that's across, we're growing in 14 or 15 facilities right now. So, everybody's getting 1, maybe 2 beers to send up to GABF. And to have a streak for 22 years where we won a medal at GABF is huge. I don't think anybody's
Holy crap.
done that.
Yeah, really.
The streak, unfortunately, did end a couple years ago, but we're hoping we can get it going.
Yeah, man, that's just incredible. The sustainability of this brewery that you've been around as long as you have, you've expanded and grown like you have, won the awards that you have, and it just keeps going. That's incredible.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we had all of our lead brewers here at Exit with all of their entries that we were going to judge to send to GABF. So there were.
It sounds like a terrible time.
Right? Well, it did start at 7:30 a.m.
That
So
sounds,
it was
that
a
sounds
little
like an
early for
Uber
some
day.
people. But like me. But we had everyone here, and we went through it style by style, beer by beer, and decided as a group, as a company, what were our best beers to send. We don't do it arbitrarily.
Sure.
We have a scientific process to it. We want to make sure we are sending not just our best beers out into the market, but our best beers to the competitions, because we feel that's our best chance to show who we are as a brewery and to highlight what we know we can do and what we want other people to know we can do.
Yeah.
So it was a long morning, but we finally settled on the beers we're going to send out there, and they're out there and they're ready to be judged, and we are, as a company, confident that we sent our best beers out there.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I don't think a whole lot of other breweries have that option. They don't have that many breweries. They don't have that many brewers, and we do, and we take full advantage of that. We have playgrounds, and we like to use them.
Which style is going to win? What are you most excited? What do you if you had to put money right now on one of your styles winning, which one is it?
If I had to put $500 on it, I'd say the Milk Stout.
Yeah, our Milk Stout was banging this year, and I'm really happy we put it out there. I will also say our Vienna was really good this year, and I'm very interested to see what happens with our Vienna.
Interesting.
I'll have to go on DraftKings and pick up a couple of Iron Hill tickets.
Yeah, right?
That's on DraftKings.
Is that a thing?
Can you do that?
Huh?
Yeah, can
You should be able to.
If we can bet on it. Is that
So,
insider
trademark. That's my idea.
Speaking of,
we should start an app.
we're having an event on the 5th of September, which is the day that they announce the winners.
A month from today.
Yeah, we're live streaming it here in Exton.
Nice.
So if anyone wants to come out and hang out with us,
Oh, that's fun.
We'll have most of the brewers here. I'll be here. The owners will be here. We're going to do something big up for it. To watch to see what we win this year.
That's
Pretty pumped about it.
That's very exciting. That's cool.
All beer, all the time.
I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know it was televised or recorded.
Yeah. Well, this year because of COVID, it's no in person.
Ah,
So they are broadcasting everything.
So I'm hoping you'll have examples of all your styles.
Yep. I think
Well, that milk stout bar,
everything out. Yep.
throw cans of milk stout out. Like,
And normally, when this festival happens, the Great American Beer Festival, we go out to Denver with about 80 to 90 people strong.
Oh, geez.
It's amazing as a brewer to see how many people within our organization support us and want to be part of what we're doing.
Yeah.
There's something to be said when you're out there and you get called, right? You get to go up there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
There's nothing like this. Especially at Iron Hill, we only enter 2 beer competitions: Great American Beer Festival and World Beer Cup. That's it. We don't do any of the smaller competitions.
Wow. That's wild. That's I can't imagine like all of those breweries coming together and like all of your different locations. Like that's just got to be such a roster of beers to try, and a probably pretty tough decision picking out the favorites.
Yeah, it was my first time doing it, and it was definitely a little nerve-wracking throughout it because, of course, I was sitting next to Matt for most of it.
Yeah.
It was still, there wasn't a bad beer on the table. There wasn't a beer on the table that I wouldn't drink happily and shine about it.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the best example of that style that we can brew. And so it did get a little country there.
Yeah, right.
Okay, this is it. Like,
sure.
But we all came together as a team, and it really worked out. And it was actually a fun day. Like we had a really good time doing it for the most part, and it really brought us together, especially through COVID. And like now we have to be able to push this out again, and like we were really happy with everything we said.
Yeah.
and I'd have to imagine when you're doing something like that, sometimes your favorite beer that you might like the best, you're not voting for it.
Right. That's
You're
100%
trying to
right.
pick the beer that fits the style
Yep.
guidelines the best.
Yep. We do read the style guidelines before we pick any beer, and so we all know what we're looking for. And that does become a little bit of the topic of conversation. Is this might be my favorite, but does it fit the style guidelines?
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it.
And my favorite part about it is, and I've been pretty good this myself a couple times, is when you absolutely trash a beer on the table, and they come to find out it's yours.
Yeah, because we do everything blind, obviously.
Yeah,
we do it
sure.
the right way, scientific
Yeah.
methodology. But yeah, there were people out there that were trashing beers that was theirs, and it's like, okay, that I think that's what separates us out, is that we're willing to do that.
Sure. Wow. That's wild. I definitely brewed some trash lately, so.
I haven't asked you how the beer maker was going.
Yeah, so at a recent treehouse visit, I had like a peach alter ego, and I was like, oh my God, like this beer on peach puree is like incredible. So like I tried to replicate it, like looking up, like clone recipes and then, adding the peach puree to it. And by the time I poured my first beer out of the keg, it was just like dark brown. Like, I don't know how, but I don't know what got in the way. I'm guessing oxygen, but it,
I'd say you're right on that one, yeah.
yeah. So I was like, it just didn't taste good and whatever. I've got a Mexican lager now that I'm going to keg up on Monday.
When in doubt, blame oxygen.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we're working on about 10 minutes left. I'd like to get anybody else that we can on, and I would love to get a sip of the Oktoberfest. I'd love to try the Marzen and see where it's at. I mean, people are I don't know. I don't want to be a pain, but. All right, so we've got somebody else. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Good luck tomorrow morning.
Thanks.
So just I want to point out that if anyone is an early riser, Matt, who was just on, will be on PHL 17 tomorrow morning discussing our IPA day and food variants.
Oh, very cool.
Which is why he has a mullet haircut right now.
That's amazing.
What channel?
PHL 17.
Yeah, they follow us.
They follow
We get the
you.
exclusive first.
Is that going to make it to you?
DHL.
You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but that's your. Yeah.
I don't have to.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
So introduce yourself. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Avery.
Hey, Avery. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know you've been here all night, hanging out in the background.
Yeah.
But tell me what you do here.
So I'm one of the brewers here.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, I make beer, work the cellar, packaging, everything. So basically work with Doug and Justin and the people we just hired to make our beer and
Nice.
make it happen. And I've been with the company since 2018.
Okay. So before that, tell me about your craft beer experience, because we always like to ask new people when they come on the show, what's your first like craft beer memory where you like maybe what that first beer was that got you excited about craft beer, and then how did you get into brewing and eventually in a brewing in a facility like this?
Yeah, so I went to college out in Lancaster. I went to F&M, and I went to the Iron Hill there, and that was one of my first craft beer experiences. And another experience I had there was going to Springhouse back when they were just operating out of a barn.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this is the coolest thing. And I went up inside the barn and met the brewer and had some tasers and filled some growlers. And like that was one of my segues into craft beer. That and the Iron Hill in Lancaster.
Sure.
That was about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Nice.
And then, I went into the corporate world. I worked as an editor at a publishing company for a little while. Didn't really care for working at the desk, but my passion for beer was growing on the side.
Yeah.
So I actually started working at Tired Hands on the weekends back in 2015.
Yep.
When Fermenteria opened. And I decided to quit my day job and just go fully into the craft beer season.
Yeah.
And I started as a server with Iron Hill in 2016. And I did a couple of brew days. And my first brew day, I was like, this is it for me. This is it. And so I wanted to learn everything that I could possibly learn about brewing.
Sure.
So I stayed with Iron Hill for a little bit, and then I actually went to Coast Ipa Brewing Company for my first job as a brewer.
Yeah.
And then I came back to Iron Hill.
Nice.
And I've been here. Yeah, I've been here since 20.
Very cool. Very cool. So, what do you think are your favorite things about being a brewer?
Ooh, that's a really fun question.
I mean, that could go any way, but
that's a fun question.
Definitely.
Well, a lot of it is cleaning.
I mean, I think most people know, at least the people that watch our show, that the I don't know if you want to call it a joke or whatever, the reality even of being a brewer is like 95% cleaning and sanitizing.
Absolutely.
And it only takes 20 minutes to mash in, but the rest of the time is waiting and cleaning and things like that. So what do you think is like why do you think you love it as much as you do?
So I think every single thing that we do, including the cleaning, is incorporated to the process of making a really exceptional beer. So when I'm, cleaning a fermenter, sanitizing it, getting it ready for the work to go into the yeast into it, it has to be super clean for that beer to be the best beer that it's going to be.
Yeah.
So that's, I love mashing in. I love the smells. I love that moment, in the morning, just having like a peaceful time. And it's super, relaxing and like spiritual, and it's great. And then, everyone else comes in, and we're a production facility, so we're grinding, we're moving really fast all day, and I love that piece.
Sure.
And I've done a couple recipes here, which I'm super thankful that I've done. And I love grain to glass, whether it's my recipe or not, grain to can to glass. Like, I love both. Being at Iron Hill, you get to, go through the whole process and do absolutely everything, which is so fantastic. But some people think, oh, it's so mundane what you have to do day to day. And it's really not, because if you really want to make exceptional beer, every single part of the job is equally important.
Sure. Do you remember a moment where, like, I think it's only, I don't even know if it's really happened for me yet, but brewing a beer and then drinking it and being like, holy crap, that's amazing, and I made it?
Yeah. I would say probably my first recipe, which was a West Coast IPA that we did back in 2019 out in Ardmore.
Yeah.
It was my store before I came to Exton.
Sure.
I called it Thirsty Boots. It's a John Denver song that Bob Dylan covered.
Nice.
And Doug, my boss, was like, well, you can, write this recipe. It has to be a West Coast. You can name it, come up with it, whatever you want.
Very
and
exciting.
I just been listening to that song. And it was so exciting. We brewed the beer, I cellared it, did everything, and then got to share it with everyone and have a pint of it myself. And I just thought this is like the most cool. This is the most rewarding thing.
Incredible. Yeah. Like, almost instant satisfaction. I mean, that's really, really exciting. I don't know. I can't imagine. I think it's like, I would compare it to maybe like a musician that writes a song and plays it, and like, people, standing ovation or something like that. You know what I mean? It's got to be like in the same in the same thing, right?
That's a really great analogy. I love music as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, making something creatively, really trying to hone your craft and then being able to take pleasure and joy in sharing with other people is one of the things that I love the most.
It's amazing.
For sure.
Well, can you tell us about what we're drinking on here? Or are you drinking the same thing we are?
What do you guys think? Oktoberfest, yes. So even though it is National IPA Day and we are very much in full force with IPAs today, we are also being a little sacrilegious and pulling our Oktoberfest, which is hyper fresh out of our break tank. And we are really excited to have this in cans. We're actually submitting this to Great American Beer Festival this fall, which we're super excited about. It's very traditionally German. It's malty. It has a bit of sweetness. Really like your ideal fall German beer. So I love it even in August, honestly.
My friend Fish over in Jersey, he's a big fan of these types of beers, and he's going to love this one. I love the way the sweetness is there and then just kind of tapers off and just leaves you with that. I'm going to have another sip of that. It makes you want to go back to it.
So my uneducated mind, I said Marzen like 3 times. Am I in the right ballpark? Is that what the style is?
Most Oktoberfest we drink in America are Marzens. Obviously, we're not growing them in March and summer yet, so it's time to produce them. But
you don't have that kind of cellar space.
If we did, I'd love to dig a cave somewhere and be able to have that. We just don't. But it is the same type of recipe, and it's what most American breweries are putting out as their Oktoberfest is Marzen, and that includes all the big boys as well. It's a Marzen style. Put the ball in the hot base and everything else we do.
So I know that you have like an ultra sensitive palate. So I'm going to ask you the hard question. Like you taste everybody's Oktoberfests and lagers and tell them when it's ready. What do you think? Is this thing ready to go?
Yeah, we are at terminal velocity on these. These are fantastic beers. I will put, and I have had the privilege, I would say privilege, of working for 2 breweries that make absolutely fantastic Marzens before I arrived at Iron Hill. And I will put our Marzen up against any.
Yeah.
And I am not one to be a homer on beer. If I think a beer is not good, I'll tell you it's not good. I love our Marzen. I think we hit exactly the stylistic design on it. And I'm pumped to still somehow in my career be a part of a brewery that puts out a good Marzen.
Right.
I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, very exciting stuff.
When will this be available to the general public?
It is available today to the general public. They've launched on Monday.
Is it in the Voorhees location?
It is. No, so we will not put it in our locations until the 1st of September. We give the general public a month to get it into the market, and then we'll put it on tap, and we'll do it as well. We have to kind of bend to what I don't want to call it societal norms, but I will. Societal norms on when we put our beer out.
Yep.
If you have a Marzen or a pumpkin, it needs to be out by August 1.
Sure.
So we have all of ours out by August 1.
So this is in distributors now?
It is. It is in distributors. It is not in Jersey yet. It'll be in Jersey in a week.
Tell Fish.
It'll be there in a week. I promise you. I'll send you where it is. We have a beer finder online, and you can type in your zip code, and it'll tell you where the beer is. So as soon as Hunterton, who is our distributor in Jersey, puts it out in the market, you'll be good to go.
My buddy Fish and I have been playing fantasy football together for 20 years. I think this is our 20th anniversary. And he is a huge Marzen Oktoberfest fan.
As am I.
He will be drinking them at his draft for his league that he has still yet to win.
I feel
20 years and he hasn't won his own league.
That's like Minnesota Twins stuff.
I feel like it's only been like 2 years that I've actually found, actually got into Oktoberfest beers. Like, they're obviously out since forever. Like, I don't know, what did we say? Were you on that episode, or you contributed to that episode?
I was on that episode.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So what was that? I don't know. I forget what we said. Like how long the style has been existing.
In America. We really haven't done Marzens, but I think Sam and Sierra were Lakes were the first big boys to really tackle the brand, and they're still kind of the stalwarts with it. The Victory as well. But we don't play to it as much as we probably should.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic style of beer, especially if you're a lager Pils guy. Like it is you just can't beat the sweetness with the malt and then a little bit of hop bite on the end of the noble hops. Like, it's just like perfect beer.
Yeah.
I would drink Martins year round if they were available.
Yeah,
I
me
really
too.
would.
Me too. I stocked up on them because I don't know. Once I found out about them and got into them, whatever, how long ago that was, it's such a good style.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. And I want to brag on Avery a little bit. Avery is also at U Sciences right now.
Yes.
So if you don't know, U Sciences has a fermentation science brewing program. At Avery is in school there right now, learning even more than she already knows. And I think that's just something that we should applaud. That, our brewers aren't ever satisfied to what they know. They're always looking more and more. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool. Just to keep the education going. Is that the school that had anything to do with the Philly yeast?
Yeah, so the Philly sour yeast was discovered there, actually. My professor and one of his students discovered it, and they patented it, and it is out in the market.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
I want to try brewing with that so bad.
I know one cidery does it, the Dresslers.
Yeah.
I think you guys both know.
Yeah.
They are using it in one of their ciders right now.
Nice.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
That just kind of shows you that it can go between beer and
Right.
cider pretty easily.
Well, the cool thing about the yeast is it produces lactic acid naturally, which you don't normally get from the brewing yeast. So the fact that they found this yeast in West Philly and it actually produces lactic acid through fermentation just as a function of the yeast is really unique.
That's incredible. I don't know. I'm blown away.
Something funky had to come out of Westville.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Sometimes it's like, for me, I do like such the basic brewing approach where it's like, measured ingredients, dump it, walk away. I don't understand the proteins, all the junk that's going on in there scientifically. I don't get it, but it's amazing that you guys put so much attention into that and understand it, because I think in the long run, that's what makes good beer. Understanding it.
I heard U Sciences, so I had to promote
Yeah.
it. So I was actually, when they developed that program, I was
Yeah.
working at Dock Street at the time.
Yeah.
In West Philly.
Yep.
Where the school is.
Yeah.
So I joined with Matt Barber, who's the program guy starter.
Sure.
And became on the board. So I'm a board
Nice.
member for U Sciences.
Nice.
And I teach the electrical engineering course for them.
Okay.
Here, so I'm part of the whole program.
Nice.
Everything. So it's a nice whole.
Yeah,
Go
full
around.
circle. Absolutely.
Do you guys carpool?
Actually, the last year, because it was COVID, I gave the class here because I just
Nice.
had to do, over Zoom.
Yep.
I was in the brewery. We were
Nice.
fully done. I was like giving the class.
Oh, that's
you
cool.
know, a little tour over Zoom after doing my whole teaching.
Yeah. So, is there anybody else that you want to make sure definitely gets on? Or do you want to,
Can I talk about my scholarship?
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Okay. So I actually received a scholarship to go to U Sciences.
Okay.
Through Pink Boots and through Yingling.
Yeah.
The Women in Brewing scholarship I received in 2019.
Oh,
And
nice.
I'm actually taking the engineering course in the spring. So this will be one of my instructors.
Nice, yeah.
So just to bring it full circle for that,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Pink Boots, which
Absolutely.
is the organization for women in the fermentation industry, and for Yingling for the scholarship.
Yeah.
Basically, Pink Boots provides a lot of educational opportunities,
Okay.
a lot of scholarships, and we're also, an organization for women in the industry. And we at Iron Hill hosted a brew day back in the spring for a saison recipe that Whitney and I wrote. Whitney is our brewer down in Atlanta.
Nice.
And we hosted some women up here too, and she hosted people down there as well. And we made the same recipe, a few miles apart, but the proceed went to Pink Boots, and I just wanted to give them a quick shout out because
Absolutely.
Pink Boots and Yingling are why I'm able to be in this program. So I just wanted to say quick thanks.
Oh, that's amazing.
We're gonna have to come back and find you at a later date here, because we've always wanted to do something with the Pink Boots.
Okay.
But we just feel like we seem like idiots, like the two bearded white guys trying to have, you know what I mean? I don't want to sound like, but I do want to do
There's no
something
judgment.
to get that cause out there. It's a
Yeah.
great cause.
Awesome. Yeah, anything you want to do, I'm ready to collab or
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting when you see all of the, like I think for a while there was a lot of Pink Boots collabs going on, and people were brewing, the Pink Boots beers. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's really exciting that that organization along with Yingling coming together to do that is really cool. And I don't know. I'm excited for what's next with you guys.
Yeah, I think we're also excited. We haven't been in distribution for more than 7 months at this point, and so
That's amazing.
I've only been here for 3 months, but when I came on, it was evident to me that all the pieces are in place for us to distribute well and to become a big player in the craft beer industry more than we are with our brew clubs. And I'm super happy about that. And I have the best brewing team here. I have the best brewing team at every location we have. And it's very exciting for me to work with all of them to develop new recipes, to develop new beer, and to really put our best foot forward in retail. And now that we're launching draft, I'm really excited for what the future holds. And I think we have the sky's the limit. It's not a cliche, but I really think we have a lot of room to grow, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting way to look at it, because obviously there's a lot of breweries in the market now, but you guys have been around so long and never taken that approach. So I mean, that's really exciting that you can eventually start seeing those beers out at your favorite places.
Yeah, for me, we've always been a great pub craft beer restaurant, and with that pub model. And so one thing that I've been working with our awesome marketing team with is that how do we separate the production brewery from the restaurants, but at the same time keep the name branded. So
sure,
we want to let people know that if you want our beer and you like our beer, you can pick it up at Wegmans, you can pick it up at Giant, you can pick it up at Waywood Beverage, you can pick it up at Exton, you can pick it up at Goshen, you can pick it up at Beer Mill, you can pick it up anywhere craft beer is sold, we're there. And we want more people to be able to try our beer and enjoy our beer and like our beer. So it's been a little bit of a move forward for us on that level.
Sure, I believe it.
But we have great distribution partners with Penn, NKS, Willsbach, and now Hunterton. And so I really do look at this as the sky's the limit. We can really push our beer out there and let people know that we're moving in the right direction, and we want you to be able to try our beer outside of our four walls.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you pass another beer down?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do Philly.
All right,
Philly. You want to do Philly?
You want Philly?
So we can't go up there. We have an issue with that. So this is Philly Favorite. This is our flagship hazy IPA. It's available pretty much everywhere. I believe Justin had a hand in creating this, so for depend on the recipe. I wear a canning line.
I've definitely had this beer before, and it is a football beer. Like, it's not super heavy. It's not going to weigh you down. I can have a couple of them as I'm cursing at whatever I'm cursing at during the football game, and still enjoy myself. It probably will be.
It's funny because this beer was introduced as sort of a seasonal beer. We did it as football season came around, and then, like I was talking earlier, when we came to changing out signature beers, this got thrown in the mix because this was just going way better for us than Orehouse. And Orehouse being a traditional IPA, we're like, we gotta make a change.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, if Philly's gonna keep pushing like it is for us, so we started to switch over. And it's hard because you have some hardcore fans of Orehouse IPA.
Yeah.
And we still rotate it in now as a seasonal.
Sure.
But to make that switch, it's like, some companies probably don't see this when they don't really have signatures. When you go to change your signature, it's a big change for the customer base.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
So far, it's been, going pretty darn well.
It's what people buy. I mean, a good amount of the market, I'm sure. So
yeah, it's our number one selling beer across the brand and across the fleet. So we're really happy with it. I think as far as hazies go, it can be sometimes very difficult to differentiate between them.
Right.
And I think this one has the hop balance on it where it's a little bit different, and I think that's why we've been so successful with it. It's not straight up, fruit juice. It's not super bitter. It's just right.
No,
in
it's got
between.
hops. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an IPA, obviously. Like, we want it to be a little bit bitter because it's an IPA, and the hop balance to it though is it's drinkable. You can have 2 or 3 of them and not be full and not be drunk. And so that's kind of the place that we're going for.
Sure. That's awesome. Very exciting stuff. I want to, we're running short on time, so I want to grab anybody else that you want to grab if they're interested. If not, we can wrap things up. But what do you think, Seth? You're running the show here.
We're going to bring one more person. Cool.
I like the guy in the, what do you call it? Yeah, here we go.
Sure, we sure have the Philly can here. I mean, if you've seen the artwork on the Philly can, I mean, that thing's like, speaks Philly. Everything on it. All the sports teams.
Yeah, right?
Everything Philly's on it.
I've been really excited to talk to the 15-year-old that's been in the brew house all day.
I've been waiting, yes.
Sorry, if you don't mind, turn that right there and try to get as close to it as you can. But
That's moving here.
Introduce yourself. What's your name?
I'm Bill.
Bill, yeah.
The brewer out of the media location.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. So, tell me about. So, I'm going to do the same thing I did to the other brewers here.
Yeah.
Go back to like your early craft beer experiences. What was like maybe that beer that hooked you in and were like, okay, beer is more than Bud Light and Miller Lite. I'm into this. And then tell me about like your brewing history and how you ended up where you are now.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, that's easy. So I went to Penn State New Campus for a little bit of time.
Yep.
Once I came back, I ended up working out of the media location as a front house.
Okay, yeah.
And around that time, AJ, who is now director of brewery operations, he had their Golden Imperial Stout, Polar Bear.
Golden Imperial Stout, so like not a dark beer or not like black.
No, crystal clear.
Yeah.
Gold like a Pilsner. Tasted like an espresso glass.
Yeah,
and
wow.
Also very expensive to make and never happened again.
Yeah.
But it was weird enough and it was cool enough that I was like, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So I started home brewing and just started making beer in my basement. And then I annoyed the brewers enough that eventually when they had an opening, they were like, oh, hey, well, I'm apply.
Yeah, right.
That was like 3 years ago. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's it been like for you? I mean, brewing for 3 years, you're kind of as that you're right in the middle of that rise of like the craft beer, the hazy IPA explosion, things like that. So what do you think is different about the way that you learned to brew beer versus somebody that started doing it 20 years ago?
Well, I mean, it's been an interesting time, and I think one of the benefits of working with this company has been like how on their own practices and everything. And
sure.
You do market research and you do what you can, but a lot of it has just kind of been meeting demand, trying to see what people are drinking and what they want versus what you can supply. I think the whole hazy craze, from my perspective at least, I heard everyone everyone is talking about it a little bit in the beginning. But once you're on it, those velocities, they don't lie.
Sure.
It's just something, it got me interested at least in hop varieties and messing around with stuff and some of the newer things that the growers are putting out. It's just cool to mess with something like Idaho 7.
I like the Izaka. I like the New England stuff. I'm not crazy about Idaho 7 for some reason. That one turns me off. I don't know why.
Yes.
For some reason, if there's like a single hop Idaho 7 or something that's heavy in Idaho 7, I don't know. It's so weird.
Does everybody have a hop that they don't like or don't care for?
Yeah.
Or is it just me?
Oh, no, we all do.
Okay.
No, that's industry standard. Like, everyone has one. They're just like, screw this hop. Like, I'm done with it.
It's weird that sometimes you just find beers that you don't care for as much, but then when you find that ingredient, and it's nice when it's, you can actually find it on the menu before you actually order and stuff like that. But yeah, very cool. So, I mean, now that everybody's here around the table,
why don't you guys come behind us here?
Yeah, so everybody's on camera if you want.
Come behind me and share the video.
Yeah, share with Seth and everything. But what do you guys see as like the future of Iron Hill. All right. So we talked about the distribution. We've talked about getting kegs out there. But I mean, what do you guys see as like the future and where you guys hope the brewery is and what you guys hope to do, moving forward from where you are now? What's new and exciting coming up?
World domination.
World domination. I like it.
That's
like-
supposed to be intern.
Yeah. Go ahead, anybody. Yeah.
I think quality. We're playing the big brewery game now.
Yeah.
So I think what we're doing here, we're going to keep getting better at it.
It's an interesting perspective. I mean, there's lots of local breweries, and you guys treat each location like its own little local brewery. But you guys are a big brewery company.
Yeah,
So
in the same way, like our future is the same as our past too. We're still going to stick with that community.
Yeah.
And everywhere where our individual restaurants are, we're going to hold true to that community and keep the local customers happy.
Man, we've talked about this before on the show, but there's the small breweries, the local tap rooms that, sell some 4-packs, but they've got a great, location to drink beer, can do well. And then there's like that medium-ish brewery that starts to struggle with distribution and things like that. And they almost get too big for their own good. And I think like for you guys, maybe like you're lucky that you guys grew to such a size before that and had that infrastructure and that experience to adapt with the industry over the years and still be as strong now as you are.
I think just talking to everybody, it seems like Iron Hill has a wide base. And I mean that both foundation-wise,
Yeah.
I mean that geographically, I mean that's locations, and that's going to help support this going up as opposed to some of the breweries that didn't have a wide base and they tried to go up.
Yeah.
Maybe did that.
And I mean, it seems like they've got a pretty sweet staff here too. I mean, they've got people that really care, and they're all right.
I honestly can't speak enough about our staff. We have the best brewers around, and that goes a football league wide. Like we have them, and that allows us to be able to develop new beers, push new beers, and to really be able to move into a distribution network where we know we're putting out the best quality beers we can.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge advantage for us. You mentioned infrastructure. We have the infrastructure. We know we do. And going into retail has been a little bit of a challenge for us. So it's for anybody, but we're figuring it out. We're figuring out where our missteps were. We're figuring out where we can do better. And I think the fact that we're willing to admit that puts us a little bit ahead of the game.
Sure.
We don't have the ego that a lot of breweries do, where it's, what we put out is the best thing ever, and if you don't like it, that's on you. Like, we value our customers' opinions. We want to know what they think about our beers.
Sure.
Because that helps us develop beers that are going to sell well in the market and sell well in our restaurants. And I think taking advantage of the playground that we have is monumental to our success now and in the future.
Sure. I feel like you haven't said hi at all. If you want to step up here, just say that you've been on a podcast before. Why don't you say hi and say what you
introduce Colin.
Yeah.
He's an intern for American Brewers Guild.
Oh, nice. Okay. So the intern.
A school that many of us that are in a lot of education from.
Sure.
So we have a great relationship with them.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
Colin is our newest addition here.
Hey, Colin.
He's interning here for the next few weeks.
Hey, there you go. Now you've been on a podcast.
This is officially the most people we've ever had on a podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, guys, I really appreciate Seth. Obviously, you played a big part in setting this whole thing up. And what I really like is that you are like one of those, I don't know what the right word to say it, but like, just like a beer guy that like I always talk to about like styles or breweries or, methods of brewing and things like that. You're just like somebody I've always gone to for knowledge in the industry. And I think that you really believe in everybody here, or you wouldn't have asked me to come here. You know what I mean? So I think like you being somebody that has this experience in the industry and in brewing to be as passionate as you are about this business and everybody here that you've invited to be a part of this thing is real and means, is legit. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is a really cool team, and I really appreciate everything that you did to put this together and introducing us to everybody and having a good time. So,
Do they all call you Grampy?
We will now. Not yet.
Not yet.
But now I have a feeling it's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
No, I appreciate you guys coming, and you know, this is I think my third or fourth time being on with you guys.
Yeah.
And every time it's just so much fun, and I love what you guys are doing. And I think it's important to the community, important to the beer world, and you're right. I 100% believe in this brewery.
Yeah.
Beyond all things, and I think we again like the sky is our limit at this point, and I'm super happy you guys came, and I'm super happy we got to get our word out there and push all of our brewers and our great team to kind of highlight them as well, because I feel like in this industry, the people that make the beer don't get the acclaim they deserve, and I'm really happy to be able to highlight some of their accomplishments and what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, awesome. Well, cheers to you guys and everybody that's involved here in the brewery. I appreciate you guys and everything that you're doing. You guys can't hear, but I have a little clapper sounder going, like an audience clapping. But little thing we're gonna do real quick. We always do a toast of the week. So it's kind of like something that you want to toast that has to do with whatever's going on. I'm going to start and do my brother, just because my brother, he runs the whole network, and he's like a producer that does and helps out with all this stuff. But he's just got a big milestone in his life. He's got this new job that he started. He's been at the same job forever, but he's switching industries and going to a new job, and I'm super excited for him. And I think there's like a ton of potential there. So my toast of the week goes to my brother Taylor. So shout out Taylor.
Best of luck.
Yeah, man. There we go.
I got two quick ones. My
Yep.
first one, U.S. Olympic volleyball, women's tearing it up.
Yeah.
On the beach, on the court, both going for the gold medal. I'm a
Nice.
big volleyball guy. Second, Kenny Brewfest coming up. Get your
Yeah.
Kenny Brewfest tickets. And look up Jeff Norman.
Yeah.
He had a big fundraiser down in 2SP tonight.
Yep.
And he's got some more fundraisers coming up for his sister who has ALS. If you get a chance, check out his cause. It's a great cause to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Jeff. Shout out Ken at Brewfest. We'll be there. We'll be recording live.
We'll be there too.
Iron Hill, I'm sure will be there.
We'll be there.
If you guys got anything, anybody you want to give a shout out to, feel free. If not,
I would just like to give a shout out to our entire brew staff, from here to any of our other facilities. Like, these guys really makes it all possible. They make my job easy because they put out good beer, and I think that again doesn't get celebrated enough in
Sure.
this industry. And I just really want to highlight what they do and how they do, and sweat, blood, and tears, literal, and blisters, and everything else that goes along with brewing that comes with it. A lot of people out there want to make beer until they have sweat rolling down their back and it's 95 degrees and they're raining out.
right? Yeah.
And these guys do it, and girls do it day to day, every day, and they should
Sweat
be
comes out at
celebrated.
like
for that.
9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
It should be celebrated as much as we possibly can.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, cheers to you guys. Thanks again for having us here and everything. You got anything else? Here comes the
Wrap her
music. All right. So everybody here at Iron Hill, thank you so much for hosting us, letting us hang out. Everybody that's watching at home, that's listening on the podcast platform, we appreciate you so much. Make sure you look us up on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you follow MBN Network. Look for Might Be Brews. If you took the time to hang out, we really appreciate you. We will be back in a couple weeks. I think we're going to try to go live from Brothers Kirshner down at the Brandywine.
We got some Wi-Fi issues to work out.
Yeah,
We're
we'll have to
giving it
see
a go.
about that. Being in the middle of nowhere next to a stream and streaming live, is a completely different thing.
Just have Basil on an antenna the whole time. It'll be fine.
You hear that, Baz?
They at least have electricity for the amps, so they've got to have electricity for us. We'll see how that goes. But again, if you took some time to hang out with us, we appreciate you, and we will see you next time. Nice work, guys.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so very much.
Can we try to get a picture before we're done?
We know we can. Let's I'm gonna grab a bartender.
That'd be
I'm
awesome.
gonna grab a bartender.
Yeah, the intern's got to be in it. You got to be in the picture. You can't take it. You're in it. You're on the podcast. You're part of this.
I'm a part of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I'll be the awkward one.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. That was so much fun. It was so nice like getting to hear all your stories and
And you guys are like on point with questions and conversations.
so
Like, keep
it's-
it going. Like, rarely is it somebody. Well, you guys have had people on that are just like, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yes.
oh,
Oh, yes.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
sure,
Yes.
sure.
Oh boy. That's when we're like, so what's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
All right, where are we going?
Let's